So we've just finished deploying. Miles has been a real jerk with his jerk army. He's got void shield generators, which basically stop you from shooting anything, because he's a really nice guy. So what we've done is we've got the objectives in each of the corners, split out very far, and one close to the middle. He's made me deploy first, so I've tried to put my army as close to the middle as possible, so I can at least cover the ground. I'm running Angrath, who is a ridiculous combat machine that can kill anything. He can also fly and jump very far as well, so he can comfortably get across the board, so I've kept him centralized. My other units are basically Psykers that are there purely to summon more guys, so I can cover the objectives. I've covered my objectives. I'm relatively close to the next one, and that's pretty much how I'm going to start this game. I've given Miles first turn because he has jet bikes, and he uses them to jump on an objective at the end of the game to steal the win, because you're an asshole.
All right, so anyway, this jerk Nick, after first turn, or my first turn anyway, I moved my Wave Serpents up, shot at his horrors. I did pretty bad at shooting. I couldn't actually kill a squad because I suck. No, I sucked. He just passed all his invulnerable saves, which is a little bit of annoyance because I could have taken out quite a few warp charges, but, you know, he's been that jerk, so whatevs. So I moved up and did stuff. Didn't really do enough damage. His first turn, though, pretty much put his portal glyph down. It scattered. It did scatter off the table, but unfortunately the way that portal glyphs work, well, they're crap. They never scatter off the table. They just stop like a drop pod, but better. Psychic Phase, failed to cast Cursed Earth. He summoned a unit of Screamers, which is pretty funny. He landed them, had to scatter, and then had to scatter back, and scattered back and hit his horrors. Had to roll a mishap, rolled a 1, killed the unit. I stole first blood, unlucky. He's still cut up about it. He's actually solving a Rubik's Cube right now because he's that cut. His portal glyph summoned 1 horror. Agrath, the jerk, he's moved into different terrain, failed to charge, and but he's coming to kick my ass soon. So yeah, that's pretty much the sum up of turn 1.
So after a bit of a rules kerfuffle, we've finished turn 2. I made a ridiculous charge through terrain, killing one of Miles' Wraith Knights that were on the edge of the board here, and I've consolidated closer back into the middle of the board. In Miles' turn, he wiped out one of my pink horror units, another pink horror, and one of my heralds, which helps me summon more guys. I managed to successfully summon some Screamers, which have flown onto the other side of the board. They move like jet bikes. My entire army has a 2-up invul save, so nothing's hurting me, and my big pink horror unit has reroll all my invul saves. I've brought myself back into a better position, and I'm slowly going to put pressure on Miles's objectives.
So at the end of turn 3, pretty much in my turn, I moved my Wave Serpents across, tried to get away because Nick did fairly well in turn 2 and got Cursed Earth off, as well as roll +1 invul on the Warpstorm table because he's a dick. He also charged, I believe... Oh, he charged my building, destroyed my building, and then, because it's so gay, stomped my Wraith Knight, which is mega gay, because it's twice about the same size as him, and managed to stomp him and kill him outright because he rolled a 6. So yeah, at the moment, it's not looking too good for me because Nick's gay. As you can see by his haircut, he's pretty much. So, yeah.
Alrighty, so it's the end of turn 4 now. Miles has killed my Screamer unit that were on the far objective by the Void Shield generator. He killed it with 2 of the Wave Serpents, so what he's done with the spare one that didn't have to fire is turbo boosted towards the middle. Angrath has moved in between the 2 objectives to protect the both of them. My other unit of Screamers is protecting this one. Miles has hidden his jet bikes in the corner. They came on from reserves, and I'm expecting them to pounce on turn 5 because the game can potentially end now. I've comfortably got this point. Miles cannot land anywhere in there, and I have a 3-up invul with re-rolling ones. There's not much he can do about that. Now we're just going to play our turn 5 and see if the game ends.
This is the end of turn 5. We rolled a dice already. The game is continuing. At this point in time, Nick has 3 objectives. I have 1, with 1, potentially 2 turns to go. Damage-wise, I don't think we actually did much. We just moved around and tried to capture objectives. It's a very important turn for me. It'll be interesting how I go, but I think Nick could potentially have it. But we'll see.
Alrighty, it's gone to turn 7. Miles has moved a Wave Serpent onto an objective in this corner. His building is holding another objective in another corner. My unit here is crowded. They cannot be contested without being shot off or charged. Similar with Angrath. So right now, it is a dead draw. Oh no, Miles is up on first blood. So this is the final turn, and then we're going to see who wins.
We actually played to turn 7. Towards the end of it, it was mainly trying to capture objectives where we can, contest objectives, that sort of thing, as you do. In the end, pretty much final score, Nick captured 2 objectives, one held by the Horrors and the other held by Angrath. I myself captured 2. I held 1 at the end with my building because it counts as part of my army, and I had troops secured on the Wave Serpent, so it actually ends up even on the objective front. The mission special rules, which sort of came into play, I had, for every unit you had behind the enemy lines, 1. Pretty much, as far as line breaker goes, for every unit behind the enemy lines, you get a point up to a maximum of 3. So on that front, I've actually captured 3. I had a Wave Serpent, an Eldar Dire Avenger unit, and my HQ. Nick had a unit of Plague Bearers and some Screamers. So it was 3-1, 3-2 there. First blood, I managed to get first blood. And pretty much HQ-wise, I actually managed to kill 2 of his HQs, which were also points. And my HQ survived the game. So sum up, I think it was 11-7. So it's a very close game in the end. I managed to pull it off. Turn 5, Nick would have had it for sure, hands down. I was a spastic and didn't cover any objectives. But we managed to get the turns going on a few more. So thanks for the game, Nick. And hopefully that was an okay presentation.